So fear is a dreadful emotion. I mean, fear creeps into your auric field and it just does damage to the physical body if you allow it to fester and be for so long without addressing it. Fear is like a toxin. It creeps into the energetic fields of your body and it just does severe damage. Let me tell you, it is a well-known fact in certain circles that fear actually suppresses the immune system. So we often tell our clients that, hey, the best defense against any disease, the best defense against any biological attack to the physical body is to have a strong immune system. You build up a strong immune system and you have a nice strong barrier against sickness, illness. But one thing that cuts that off and overrides that system is the emotion and the energetic vibration of fear. Scientifically proven, fear suppresses the immune system. Wow. Fear suppresses the immune system. So if you have a strong immune system, the emotional state supersedes the physical body. That's for the next podcast episode. The different layers of the human body is more than just the physical layer. We have an energetic body, a mental body. All of these bodies have to be in alignment. But fear, let's just address the fear element for 1 second. Fear suppresses the immune system. So no matter how strong your immune system is, once you allow the emotion of fear to fester and linger around for an extended period of time, oh yeah, that immune system shuts off. I had an experience this past week. Anyone that knows me knows that I'm probably one of the most healthiest people that they know. I have a reputation of being healthy eater, person that's active and works out, and validly so. I haven't been sick in probably about 8 years now. And with everything going on nowadays, people write off everything as a certain particular illness that I don't want to say here, but you guys know what I'm talking about. You may have allergies and you sneeze and people look at you like, oh my gosh. It's like, man, it's just my allergies. Calm down. But just this past week, I wasn't sick, but I definitely was not 100%. Body was aching. I think that's partially due to the exercise that I did the day before. But body was partially aching. What else? Headache. Ooh, really bad headache for about 4 or 5 days straight. And just a couple days ago, I was really getting over the headache. But I mean, wow, just really not feeling 100%. No coughing though, no sneezing, none of that. Just body aches and headaches. So I'm sitting there, I'm just like, what is this? I always do a self-diagnostics of myself whenever I'm not feeling 100%. Rarely does it happen to this extent, but I always do. Something happens, every now and again I may get what I call energetic headaches. Much different from the average headaches that most people get. Growing up, I used to eat a lot of, salty foods. Standard American diet, your regular stuff, right? Also used to play football, so a lot of head-on-head contact. I used to get headaches a lot. I think those headaches in that time was because of eating habits and things like that. But now, periodically, I get a headache every now and again. It's very rare. But if I do, I know it's not because of my eating habits. Now I know these headaches are coming from an energetic state. Something happened in my day that wasn't in alignment with where I wanted to be. Something may have happened in a conversation that wasn't in alignment with where I wanted that conversation to go. It's energy. This is why it's important to know energetic states. In Western science, we focus so much on the physical element. You go to a doctor, they ask you, what did you eat? What medicines have you taken? Etc., etc. And these are great questions to ask because you want to address the physical body first. It's the most obvious things that we can see. We obviously know what foods we put in our bodies. We obviously know what medicine we've been taking. So to address the physical ailments first is a beautiful approach. We want to do that. However, when all of the physical ailments check off, you say, hey man, I've been doing everything I'm supposed to do. Like what's up? Western medicine usually stops at that point. A lot of times it can't go beyond that. From our studies and from our knowledge of holistic health and wellness, we understand that health does go beyond just the physical. So nowadays when I check myself and I may get a headache, okay, I know it's not my eating, I know it's not my exercise, I know it's not any medicines I've been taking because I don't take any medicines. Okay, what has happened in my day energetically? So with this past week and the way I've been feeling, I'm just like really checking myself. What was it? What happened? How in the world am I feeling this way? I don't ever feel this way. I'm the last person that, you would ever that I would expect to feel this way. What is going on? After doing a self-diagnosis, which again I think is important for each person to know how to do a self-diagnosis of themselves. I'm not saying don't have a primary caregiver or a primary physician. I'm not saying don't have a doctor that you can go to, because these doctors are great. They study. They've been studying for years, right? So they have knowledge and can tell you things that you may not have knowledge about. So it's great to have that, but you are the first assessor of your ailments. Nobody is living inside your body but you. So I believe that it's very important for us to have a self-diagnostic system that we can at least say, okay, I remember when I did this. I remember when I was thinking this. I remember when I was feeling this emotional, mental thing that I was going through, right? So we should have these. So I did this self-diagnostics of myself, and I got to the point when I realized the emotion of fear. I remember the moment it happened. It's almost as if I felt this dis-ease coming on. It was the emotion of fear that I allowed to creep into my thought process and essentially creep into my emotional state. This emotion of fear. Now, remember when I said that the emotion of fear can override the physical system. Physically, I'm good to go. I have the metabolic age of a young man 5 years younger than me, right? And I think if you don't know your metabolic age, I think that's important to do. I think it's kind of fun because we have our physical age, right? Everyone, you know how old you are. But then your body has an age of itself. This is what is called your metabolic age. So, for example, an individual may be 40 years old, but they take care of themselves so much that they have a metabolic age of someone who is 35. Someone who is 15 years their junior, right? Vice versa, you could be someone who's 35 years old and have a metabolic age of someone who's 50. And you see these people. You say, wow, how old are you? Oh, well, I'm 50. What? You're 50? Wow, you really look like you're 35 years old. Like, what do you do? So I think it's important for each person to kind of know their metabolic age, see where you are. Idealistically, you want to be metabolically younger, either the same age as or younger than your actual age. Like the scripture says, in order to enter the kingdom of heaven, you must have the heart of a child, the health of a child, the mind of a child, heart of a child, emotional state of a child. This is for a whole nother podcast. But I do want to say here that my physical body, I know, is metabolically younger than my actual age. So I know it's not the physical body. I know it's not anything that I ate. So I said, whoa, okay, it's this emotion of fear that I allowed to creep in. And this fear really it's like just visualize for a moment toxins entering the bloodstream and just flowing down all of your veins, flowing down all of your, extremities, and really taking over, causing damage. It's not good. It's really not good. The emotion of fear is not good. Again, it really takes over. So we have to be mindful of our emotional state. We have to know that emotions have an effect on our physical health. You may say, wow, I'm really feeling these aches and pains today. I don't know what it is. It must be the weather. I heard people say their grandparents, back in the day when it's going to rain outside, the joints will start aching. And I believe this is true. When there's rain forecasted, the pressure in the air starts to change. I believe it's the PSI, atmospheric pressure, begins to change. Not PSI. I think PSI is tire pressure. But you guys know what I'm talking about. The atmospheric barometer, the air pressure starts to change. And this air pressure begins to have effects on our joints, our bones, bone density, gravity. We get a little bit more gravity now. Feel it in your joints. Older folks have this ability because their joints are a lot more sensitive. So, yeah, maybe it is changing the atmospheric pressure. But when you really check yourself and check the emotional state and what you're going through, that's also a factor as well. Fear. I don't think I want to go into the amount of fear that's in our society or that is trying to be pushed in our society. I'm not really going to go into that too much, but understand that fear does have an effect on the physical body. I witnessed it. I diagnosed myself. I identified that was fear. I addressed what that fear-based belief was. I did a life coaching session on myself. And no sooner that I did that, it took about a day, and that fear processed and left. The protection. Let's get into the protection, how you can protect yourself against this energy of fear. So scripture talks about the armor of God. The armor of God. Yeah. Really visualize. Use your imagination because imagination is a powerful tool. Many of us are visual learners. We learn best when we can paint a picture. You can see a picture of something. It's better than just someone just talking and telling you something. You have to get a picture of it. So really visualize this body armor. Your body armor. It could be whatever color you want, whatever you want to, style, anything. But your body armor, the armor of God, the scripture talks about. The armor of God is the breastplate of righteousness, the shield of faith, the belt of truth, the sword of the Spirit, the gospel of peace, the feet prepared with the gospel of peace, the helmet of salvation. This is the armor of God. Now, what does this have to do with fear, and what does this have to do with the element of not becoming sick, not allowing fear to enter the system to take on sickness? Now, these things are important. This armor of God is important because we have to equip ourselves with this armor. We have to know within our everyday life that we are protected. We have to build this auric field, this energetic field. In the Sanskrit teachings, they know of the aura field, the energetic field that surrounds the human body. When this field, visualize this auric field as a yellow, bright yellow oval that surrounds the body. A lot of times they say Yeshua had a halo around him that could have been his auric field. This energetic protection egg of light. When we have this auric field up, there's no energetic attack that can come to us. Your physical body sits inside this auric field. So it's a protection layer. It's a force field, if you will. Now, I know this may sound like sci-fi to a lot of people, but understand that when we are educated in our Western education system when it comes to health, Western education focuses on the physical. And there's nothing wrong with that. However, we have to understand that a lot of these concepts will sound brand new, and they will sound a little foreign at first to some of us. Many of us know about these things already. Thank goodness that we are in the age of enlightenment, the age of information. So a lot of this information is coming out to the public, and it's a beautiful thing. But if this is your first time hearing this, please don't dismiss. Just have an open mind. This energetic field that surrounds the body. How do we build this energetic field? Well, we build this energetic field first with the core of unconditional love. Unconditional love, knowledge, and faith that your God will protect you in any situation regardless. It's that confidence that everything is going to be all right. It's that lack of fear. It's knowledge. They say you fear what you don't understand. Once you understand something and you grasp it, you cut the light on, you say, oh, there's nothing to fear about this. There's nothing to fear. Once you say that there's nothing to fear about that, that energy dismisses and leaves the room. It has no place anymore. We put on that breastplate of righteousness. We grab that sword of the Spirit, and we walk around in this world with a level of confidence, because we know that we come from a higher place. Our spirit, our soul, our essence comes from a higher place. That no matter what they try to do in this physical domain, it has no precedence over who we truly are at core. That's the confidence that dismisses all fear from your aura field, and it builds and reinforces your aura field with titanium, alloy, steel, vibranium. It really strengthens that auric field. But don't have cracks in your armor, as I did. I had cracks in my armor. I have a really strong armor of God that's hardly ever penetrated. But this one time, I allowed this armor to be penetrated. And when it did, that fear seeped in like a crack in a boat. Just walked on in there freely. So this is why it's important. And this is why it is our faith, our meditation, our prayer, our spiritual work is a strong, pivotal essence of our health. Health is not just what you eat. Health is not just about being a vegan, a vegetarian, and a keto diet. Health is not just that. Health is also your spiritual well-being. your confidence in something that's higher than yourself, your strength in something that's bigger than your physical body. This will protect you if you keep this body of armor reinforced with faith, with unconditional love, with confidence that no weapon formed against you shall nor will prosper. This is the elements of the Spirit of God, the armor of God. So this is what we're talking about today. That fear is a terrible emotion that once it seeps into the system, it has potential to cause damage to the physical body. And if you're going through physical ailments and everything checks off, you're eating right, you're doing everything right, check your emotional state. Check your mental state. We're going to do another podcast really soon about the different layers of the body. We have the physical body. We have the mental body, the emotional body, and so many other aspects of the body that when all of them are healthy and in alignment together, you can't get sick. It's physically impossible to get sick. It's physically impossible. This is your Christ body. So these are the levels, and this is the future of healthcare. But for now, I just wanted to share my particular experience with this emotion of fear. It's a terrible emotion. It's a lack of unconditional love. One time, I want to share this really quick. One time this happened to me. I was in the neighborhood that I grew up with, and I was meditating, actually. I was meditating under a tree facing the sun. It was sunset. And there was a deer. These two deer both had crossed the street. Two deer had crossed the street. But these deer were running. Once they crossed the street, they began running directly towards me. There was nowhere for me to go. It's a big old tree behind my back. But these deer were running directly towards me, had antlers and everything. And at the very last second, it's as if they saw me and steered in the direction off to the side of where I was meditating. But in this moment, I actually tasted fear. There was this sour, this unpleasant taste in the back of my mouth. Oh, awful. Just completely awful. And this is what fear tastes like. There's a taste. And I don't know if anyone has ever had this particular experience happen to them before, but you can actually taste fear. It's a terrible taste. And it takes a long time to get out of your palate. It's just horrible. Worst thing I ever tasted, aside from chicken liver. Horrible as well. But this taste was just awful. And it was the taste of fear. In that moment, this was about maybe 7 years ago. In that moment, I tasted fear. So if that's what fear tastes like, you don't want that anywhere near your energetic body. You don't want it anywhere near your emotional body. You want it anywhere near your physical body. So I just thought I would share that little story about the taste of fear. It's horrible. And I wanted to share this overall experience of my relationship with fear this past week. That thing has been completely dismissed, diagnosed myself, troubleshooted the system, and I'm rock and rolling once again. Currently back in the gym because I was feeling so weak and headachy that I just wasn't in the gym for about a week. So that's unlike me. Funky fresh, back in the flesh. I'm here in the gym, doing my thing once again, and sharing this wellness experience with you all. So I give thanks and praise for your beautiful attention, for staying here this long. If you have any questions, feel free to text our Moon Healing business line at 404-777-5607. Feel free to reach out at the Instagram at Amoon Healing or visit the website at amoonhealing.com. Until next time, meditate on this information. Give thanks for where you are in life right now. Count your blessings. And we'll see you next time. Blessed love.